Are in the bottom left spawning position, playing for Team Dignitas, and he's got some really cool flair here. Look at those stars, man.
They are very awesome.
They are very cool. It is Dignitas Ourk. And in the top right spawn position, we've got his challenger. It is the blue Protoss player, Rotcod.
Now, it's a very unfortunate team for Ourk to be on, because they abbreviate with just D. So like D Apollo, D Bling, D Ourk, which says what? If you would just read it.
Dork. Yeah. I was like,
it's very unfortunate for him.
I was like, where is he going with this one? Yeah, okay, I got it. Dork. Okay, very, very funny. Let's see what Rotcod, his preferred opening in Heart of the Swarm is versus Terran player. We've seen, of course, Dream use his oracles to sometimes...
to the max.
Sometimes great effect, sometimes not as great of an effect. Let's see what Rotcod has in store. I mean, the meta game is pretty much still the same. Some kind of an expansion build off of one gate is really the norm, and going for a Stargate is a bit of a heavy commitment. So let's see what Rotcod is going to be opting for. Is it going to be a standard one gate expand with a gas, Mothership Core, Zealot Stalker Pressure, maybe something like that? This is a map where you could also go for some kind of a blink aggression build with the Mothership Core. There's a lot of surface area to blink up and down into.
There is indeed, and it's just a good map for it, it's for all the reasons you said, and that could be something we're seeing. Ourk, as I said previously to anyone who's joined us before the break, he can play all three races at High Masters, so he switches around. He was Zerg back at I-47, he was definitely playing Zerg, then he went Protoss for a bit, and apparently now he's Terran.
Yeah, so he's switching it up, he's got his, he's bringing his A game. Let's see how it's going to be working out for him.
There's a pylon down at the very bottom right. Rotcod, what have you got planned?
Huh, that's a very far proxy position to be going for Void Race, so I'm definitely thinking Oracles here.
Yep, it could certainly be that, but except he's pulling the probe back, which is a bit interesting.
There's a lot of players who do this, actually place their second or third pylon in a position where they expect Medevacs to be flying over, or Banshees to be making their way to their base, so this is... you know, is a location, and it can also freak your opponent out. I mean, Ourk could be scouting and be like, where's your second pylon? Something fishy's up, I need to
What's happening
prepare.
here?
And it's just a random proxy pylon.
Neither player have actually scouted yet, and Ourk is going a bit of an unusual route with this SCV, clearly slightly concerned that there could be something a bit fishy going on already, and ultimately nothing too untoward is happening. Ourk, he's getting up his reactor quite quickly, he's still mining gas, and he's just getting up his natural command center, so things really piecing together just as we would hope.
Yeah, Rotcod has mined himself enough gas to start. Warp Gate Research, a Stalker, and a Mothership Core, and after that he left only one worker in gas, so he's going to be expanding as fast as Protossly possible.
Indeed he is. So, getting that Mothership Core out very, very early on, which is... I don't know if you've noticed it, but there seems to be two main times you get that Mothership Core out. You either get it off of one base, or you get it when you saturate the minerals and the natural. They seem to be the two most common things, and as such, it's just a bit earlier. It means that actually you can be slightly more aggressive. You've got the option of the Time Warp, which is really good against Terran, and everything just pieces together. Two probes on each gas as well, so not going too tech-heavy yet. Yeah,
getting a Mothership Core out early, I think, is something that everyone is going to be be earlier and earlier. It enables you to be aggressive, it enables you to be defensive with Photon Overcharge, the Mass Recall, the Time Warp. They're all so very useful, and the Mothership Core is going to, you know, it pops out with about 50 energy, regenerates pretty slowly, and if you get it out with the first, you know, 100 to 200 gas you mine, you're going to be building up a lot. You'll be able to use those Photon Overcharges for defense in the mid game, in the early game. It's a very useful unit to have.
You're completely correct, Lillian. Now, what we've got is we've got 3 workers in each gas now as well. The natural base coming up quite nicely for Mr. Rotcod. Meanwhile, for Ourk, he's just getting down a starport. Ooh, what has he got planned?
What has he got planned? Well, this Stalker's got some plans, some very big plans for himself. There were no Marines in that bunker, so he ran by, but now he's trapped, and he's going to get nothing in return, I think.
He's just running away being like, I made a mistake, guys! I shouldn't have done that. And he was clearly a bit too bold. And the second one now, just deciding to pull back and play it a little bit safer.
His brother came in, though, and finished off that SCV that Stalker so desperately wanted to pick off. So the Stalker is going to be posting outside here. We'll be guarding, seeing if anything is going to be coming out. The Medevacs, the first Medevac already on the way out. Wow, that's some really quick Medevacs.
Could be a mine drop.
It is going to be a mind
It is a
drop.
mind. Yeah, did you like the way I said that? Like, just quite like deep, just like it could be a mind drop. As I can see, medevacs and mines already on the field. It's just a big guess. And of course, as we're saying, it is going to come over. There is no, as far as I'm aware, there is a robotics facility down, but there's no observer yet. It is getting produced. So if it stays in base, it should be fine. This will be easily stopped. But if it's across the other side of the map and there's only one of them, those mines can be very, very frustrating.
They could be. For now, Ourk is setting up his mines defensively, maybe expecting some kind of an Oracle play to come out, but there's no Stargate out on the field, so no danger in that zone. It's actually going to be Twilight Council, a Robo, and a Forge, so what is he going to be going?
All of the tech.
Yeah, he's going to be going both tech routes at once, which is a little bit greedy, because now we're going to have that part in the game where the Protoss doesn't have that many units to defend.
Yeah, it's an awkward spot for every Protoss player, but Rotcod, he's really solid, he's got great play, so I think he's going to be fine. And currently, Ourk's being quite passive, actually. He's not really going for that much for the time being. The Observer just on its way across the map, and actually, Rotcod getting a small supply block there.
Yeah, he is. That's a bit unfortunate. Very unfortunate, actually, because he's going to have to warp in some units to help defend against this. He does have, of course, that observer out on the field. He has two observers, one in the middle of the map and another one in the middle of the map. So it's going to be a while before they get back home. Of course, you need those observers to spot the burrowed Widow Mines to clean them up. Let's see how much damage the initial drop is going to do. Immediate pull by the probes.
There. That was an absolutely brilliant reaction, I've got to say. Photon overcharge being used as well, trying to pick that off, trying to pick off the medevac. And a third observer about to pop from the Robo. And that just means that detection will be granted and you can clean them out without taking any losses other than the lost mining time.
Yeah, this is actually a really good job here by Rotcod, really showcasing how that Mothership Core can be useful. He basically defended that drop with just the Mothership Core.
Yep, everything going really solid. I'm liking what they're doing. And really, I think Rotcod didn't take too much damage, but ultimately Ourk wasn't trying to do that much. He only had 2 Widow Mines in there. It's not like he was reliant on that. The work count currently seeing a 40 to 49 in Rotcod's favour. Mules level that out quite nicely. And the Templar Archives just starting to be constructed, ready for the transition, probably into some Archons early on as opposed to Storm, just due to charge being complete.
Yeah, so the Robo just for the observers, and a lot of observers have been produced. This is the 4th observer, I believe, that's going to be popping out of the Robo, so definitely worth the investment there. He's going to have a lot of vision of his opponent, where he's at, what he's doing, what he's building, and this observer is going to be scouting the third base momentarily. This
is a nice little timing by Ourk, actually. This could potentially be quite problematic for Rotcod, because he's really not got much on the field. 2 Zealots, 3 Stalkers, and 2 Sentries. He's already blown Photon Overcharge at his natural. That is why we don't see Ourk moving in yet, but that means not enough energy for another one for a long, long time. Currently, though, just waiting, just biding his time. The Observer seeing the third base timing out of Ourk, and that's what Ourk wanting to achieve there. Keep his opponent pinned back so he can expand.
So what is his plan going to be? Is Ourk going to go ahead and expand? Or is he going to drop another few extra gateways and try to punish that early third out of Ourk? He only has 5 gateways right now, so he could go either way. He could drop that Nexus and continue his game and be absolutely fine. He could also choose to drop another 2-3 gateways and try for a bit of an attack at the third.
We'll wait to see what he's planning, but currently Storm is already half complete. Upgrade-wise, neither player doing that much, actually. Currently Rotcod with 01 upgrades, compared to no upgrades yet for Ourk, but +1 infantry weapons just finishing as I speak.
Upgrades are rolling out nicely for both players. Storm is about to finish up, about 75% of the way done, as the third base is going to get taken for Ourk at the same time. He knows he cannot take that as early as Terran because, you know, the drops, the boosts, he can be everywhere at once, so he's going to make sure that he has Storm finished up. That's going to make him feel a lot safer taking the third. Yeah,
well, once you've got Storm, you've got that splash damage, you can deal with the Marine Marauder army, and actually, that's all really Ourk's got in his arsenal for the time being. He does have currently, though, a Ghost Academy finish, so he can start that Ghost production. He did see the Templar Archive, so is responding to that perfectly. No Robotics Bay yet, so no tech switch for the time being for Rotcod.
Very passive play out of both players. There's no drops trying to, you know, he's not even trying to make the drops work, and I don't think it will work out. If we take a look at the map real quick, we can see observers everywhere. Observer in the bottom right to spot for drops, observer in the middle to spot for drops, and observer in the top left. Actually, 2 observers in the top left to spot for drops. So, really good map vision by Ourk. By Rotcod, sorry.
Yeah, Rotcod, it's clever though, because he knows Ourk probably transitioned into Terran to utilize boost medevacs and mines really well, and as we can see, just being really nice. Oh, some of these High Templar though committing suicide, get a Storm down in just a few units, but now slightly moving too far out, and suddenly we're seeing this infantry get some good shots off.
Oh, that one Marine had a kill vision on the sentry, but was quite able to get a nice storm on one portion of the army. But where's the follow-up storm? It is there, but there's just not enough support units for Rotcod right now. He's warping. Oh, that storm was completely missed. 7 zealots are coming. 5 zealots actually going to be coming in. Is this going to be enough to clean Ourk up? Rotcod is dropping down in supply. There's still a lot of bio, and especially a lot of medevacs left. So this small bio force is not going to be dying anytime soon.
Indeed, it isn't, and suddenly we're now seeing in a situation where actually Ourk, he can keep putting on the pressure. Photon Overcharge used yet again, and that just means Ourk can't move in quite yet without taking quite a lot of losses with such a small force, but it is allowing him to take his 4th.
It is. That was a really nice pressure. Rotcod is definitely on the back foot right now. He's trying to get his +3 out and his +1 attack. The upgrades are quite even right now, I'd say. +1 is finished up for Ourk, but he's working on 2-1, whereas the Protoss player is working on a 3-1. So the upgrade's really not that different, but the ghosts are now out on the field, and that's the one thing that Ourk lacked. If he would have had a few ghosts in that army composition just now, he would have probably been able to finish the game outright.
Now, what are your thoughts on the fact that the robotics bait is only just going down now? It's really quite late, and when you know your opponent's already getting ready to go for those ghosts, it can get really awkward, and I think the tech switch is the most potent part of the mid to late game. Once you get that in, once you start getting some Colossi, you can be really potent, but we're already at 15 minutes 30, and it's only a half done.
I don't think it's necessarily that late. I don't think it's a bad move. He just had a few bad engagements, didn't really get the storms that he needed. His High Templar were a little bit split up. If
that storm was so good there, just at the top. Sorry to interrupt you there. Great storm as Ourk was trying to sneak in to the north of the 3rd.
He's getting... wanted to get that storm off, or maybe some feedbacks, but wasn't really able to. Nice snipes there by Ourk, and he's so many ghosts. 8 ghosts with this small army, and a few more are going to be joining up. The Medevacs all a little bit low on HP, but they do have enough energy to go ahead and heal a lot. So I think Rotcod's 3rd base is going to, be up for some more pain.
It should be up for some pain, but he's in a good defensive position. He's got quite a lot of zealots. The High Templar count still looking okay with 4 on the field. And double Colossi in production, that's always going to be something that's very, very nice for you as a Protoss player at this stage of the game. And currently, no Vikings out, no switch to Viking production, and there's only... Well, there are 2 starports, but they're just not doing anything.
He's trying to buy time right now. Rotcod, he definitely didn't want to attack. He was just like, okay, I'm going to pretend to be moving out to hopefully scare you into defending, because I need some extra time. I need those first 2 Colossi out on the field. They will not have range, but there's no Vikings to really contest them, so the range is, of less importance than it would be when there's 6 to 8 Vikings on the field. Now,
the other thing to note is that Rotcod's taking his own 4th. It's something that Ourk is completely unaware of for the time being, so that means that actually they're looking to be on equal basis. The work account, 65 SCVs to 69 Rotcod. With mules, that favours Ourk. But now 4 Vikings in production at a time. He's clearly seen one of those Colossi. And as such, he should be in an okay spot once they get out, but he's going to have to wait for any pushes.
Oh man, he's using his storms, but he's not using them as effectively. Oh, nice EMP going down on pretty much all the zealots. Even gets an Archon and a Colossus there, but now sees the Colossus. Is he going to be confident enough to push in here? I think he should be. This is a very tiny Protoss army.
Yep, it is just going straight in. A good attack up there for Ourk. The Colossi are doing some nice damage from the back, but the Archon being morphed, the Storms didn't get that much. Suddenly, Mule's getting cooled down by Ourk. Oh, the Mana Mule's all the way home. The 3rd base is gonna die. The Colossi just being chased away. The Immortal does survive. And well, this is not a good spot for Rotcod.
No, it's not. And Ourk, he's actually going to retreat. Oh, I love this move. He's going to be bullying his opponent a little bit. Could have easily stimmed in there and killed the last 3 Colossus because they had no support whatsoever. They had, a few Arc, maybe one Archon and an Immortal to defend them. And here comes Ourk. His reinforcements have joined up. He's got 4 Vikings in his army composition right now. And 4 Vikings versus 4 Colossi. That's going to turn out to be advantageous for Ourk. GG.
Game 1.